There it is. We are live on the internet.
Happy Monday, everyone.
Prof Sales here.
And Karin.
Saying, good Monday? Is that a thing?
It's Monday.
It's a happy Monday. Always a happy Monday with you guys. How's everybody doing? Let us know out there in the chat if you can hear us all right. Hopefully our sound is good. And we're off and running with another show. It's we got over our power issues from Friday. Remember that?
Yes. I mean, everything was out. Internet, power, like for blocks, and actually a mile that way.
Yeah, we lost power for 2 or 3 hours, and it was right before our show time on Monday, guys. So or Friday. That's why we couldn't have a show. And so our apologies for that.
And thank you for all the advice on battery backups and things like that.
Yeah, it's like survivor gear, like you need to prepare.
Yeah, there was a little bit more to it than that. Even if we would have had it, we wouldn't have had the internet. Anyway.
Yeah, we didn't want to hotspot it to our phone because, that's a little, hotspotting your phone is fine, but when you got to run video and audio and interact with people and do it for over an hour, that can be a little problematic sometimes. So we decided just to cancel the show Friday and, meet again here today. So here we are. All right.
Here we are.
Somebody said they love our shirts.
We were going to talk about that later. Is it that obvious?
We will talk about our shirts. And, yeah, just in a little while, I guess. But so
lots of shirts.
There are shirts. Careful, you're not saying something else.
That's you that makes those mistakes.
That's me that makes those mistakes.
On the YouTube, breaking the law.
Lots of people in the chat today. I see Margaret's here. Brandon, CJ, Tim Taylor, Henry is in the house.
Purple Lily.
Michelle.
Kathy. Did you say Kathy?
Kathy. Did I say Kathy? I don't think I said Kathy.
Large.
Oh, I said CJ. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Lots of other people too. Thomas is here. Harlan. Debbie Keith. D Books and More, Benton, Errol. Man, there's lots of people here.
CCH, Chicago Crown Hustler.
Chicago, and that's a great name, like Chicago Crown Hustler. What does the Chicago Crown part mean? Obviously the city of Chicago, but what's the Crown part mean? That'd be interesting. So, yeah, so we are off and running. So we got lots to talk about today, right?
We do. We had lots to talk about on Friday, and now it's just sort of compounded what we're going to talk about today, right?
Yes. So anyway, so we were trying to pull up a document here. I guess I'll wait.
Well, if we're going to pull it, but it can be in that. Just hit that next thingy, and then it'll be done. It's not like anything else
hit
happens.
The wrong thing. That's not it.
So
yeah.
If we're going to talk about, they're going to back me up on this. If we're going to talk about a document, we should be able to show it to you, right? That's what I'm thinking. So it'll just take a second. I'll do a little song and dance. I had a new impression for today.
What's your new impression?
Well, I haven't practiced it enough.
You haven't practiced your impression. Did you practice any of the other ones?
No.
I was like,
here,
which ones did you practice?
So, who's this? My hair is not straight enough.
I have no idea who that is. Who is that?
I don't know how to do her accent well enough.
Who's she?
She's a wizard of gypsies, tramps, and thieves.
Stevie Nicks?
No, she's tall and she has long black hair, and she's a little older than we are.
I have no idea.
I can't do it now. You're giving me too much.
All right.
pressure.
So anyway,
they're gonna know.
We'll have to work on it. She's working. She's working on her impression. I still don't know what that is.
Debbie wins.
Cher. Oh, that's why you were listening to Cher earlier. You were trying to get your.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. So Karin's working on her Cher. If you could turn back time.
I don't need to. But she would say like smash it, but I don't know how to say it. Smash it. It's like Cher meets Mae West at this point. Yeah. So I need to refine it. I can do the. But
yeah. And Stevie Nicks didn't have black hair. I don't think so. I'm all off there. Hey guys, if you're listening right now and you want to hear the show topic, so
there's a topic.
We try to hit that about 20 minutes into the video. So fast forward along if you don't want to hear us for the next 13 or 14 minutes.
But there's nuggets.
There are nuggets. There's always nuggets.
Along the way.
But some people are like, get to the topic. Your video is too long. I'm like, you can scroll forward, but we don't know where it is. Like, oh my gosh.
So we're live at the time of taping, and when some people look at this later, it won't be live. So there you go. We have an agenda. See?
We have a real agenda. Well, I don't know how real it is.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about month end. First thing on the docket. How is everyone's month end? Let us know in the chat. How was your month of March? We didn't get a chance to talk on Friday, which was technically the end of the month. Mm-hmm. Our sales were pretty much flat to February, which kind of would say they were down because February was 3 days shorter. Mm-hmm. We did gain we did gain more profit. We gained more higher net selling price. But it was kind of a month, I thought. I didn't think it was great. Did you? No. Not horrible, but not really that good either. I don't know if it's the quote unquote slowdown.
But we talked about that. I mean, that's for this is our slower time.
Yeah, this can be a slow time for clothing sellers, theoretically, but not in every case. So, we'll be talking about some tweaks we're doing for that. Mm-hmm. Some people are saying theirs were very good. Lars says March was great.
That's awesome.
Lisa says sales increased some. Mother said it wasn't much better than January or February. Thomas's clothing was down. Skip says first 10 days strong, then very flat. Yeah, it was kind of I don't know what to make of last month. I'm just glad it's done. I'm ready to move on to April.
Well, are you going to do the spreadsheet thingy at some point?
Well, maybe. Who knows?
Okay. Well, because what's interesting is even though sales were flat, our numbers are growing like we wanted them to grow. And I'm going to talk about it since we're not looking at the spreadsheet out of context, but
yeah,
our costs of goods are going down. Our net per item is going up. So, I mean, we have wins, and it's not all, flat or challenges for the month of March. I mean, we have several wins in there as well.
Yeah. So what were your wins in March, guys? If you want to leave them in the chat box or in the comments later, because I'm sure you had some wins and obviously got challenges as well. I mean, that's just the way this game always goes, but we definitely had some wins. We were definitely more profitable per item, which I was very happy with. So, March is over. It's the first quarter of the year, basically. Now we're moving into quarter 2 with April, May, and June, which will take us into the summer. So it's a transitional quarter, I guess. You're kind of transitioning from late winter, early spring into summer. So, you got to think about that. What does that look like in terms of your sourcing? What does it look like in terms of your sales? All those factors. And we're still trying to figure that out as well, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's also going to become yard sale season for those of you who are in a reasonably warm climate already. You're probably seeing some decent yard sales. So we're excited about that.
Our official start to that actually is this coming Saturday. We were going to go last Saturday, but it didn't work out. So official yard sale, estate sale season starts for us Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Dun-dun.
And I don't have this on the list, but I did want to talk about the I don't know if I have this up. A pair of jeans that we sold, guys. I shared this on, what was it? Instagram. So we bought this pair of jeans a few months ago. Actually, it wasn't that long ago. It was only January. I don't know if you know that or not. It was January.
Huh.
It wasn't that far ago. We bought this pair of jeans, guys. They're called Reference Sport. It's a very off-brand, not off-brand, but just not even a niche brand. I wouldn't even say there's a niche for this brand. They're just there.
When we researched them, it was a certain designer made them.
Yep.
And they were only ever sold on one clothing website.
Yep.
And that was it. That's all we could find out. And
we couldn't find anything hardly.
No. There was something that somebody wrote, but we could never really find the source.
Right.
And we kind of disagree on what the retail out in the universe was, but knew they sold upwards, $400 to $800. We'll just leave it somewhere around there.
Yeah, they were really I don't even know what to make of those jeans. I'm going to see if I could pull them up for you guys and show you what they were real quick. We'll try to do a quick screen share. But we found them for $5 in a local, I think it was a Goodwill, actually.
Yeah, it was the only thing that we found there. You said the other day where we found them. Which one?
Yeah, it was a Goodwill. We paid $5 for them, I believe.
No sales tax.
No sales tax. And
Well, we know how long it takes for the smell of mothballs to leave a clothing, right?
Yeah. So I was going to share this with you guys just real quick, but let's see if I can pull this up here. Let me pull up our, gosh, it's always such, we'll do a quick screen share, show you what they sold for, or I'll tell you what they sold for, because somebody asked this. Actually, it was Yvonne who asked us about this. So this was the brand, guys. We listed them for $250, and they did not sell for $250. I got a guy who messaged me about these, and he made an offer. He made an earlier offer of like $80, which automatically got rejected by my setup for best offer, and they ended up selling for $100. Now, you know, I don't know really if this is really tricky, guys, because Yvonne said, how did you guys figure out what to price this item at? And that's a great question. And, you know, I can't remember everything I was thinking at the moment when I priced it, but you're going to run into items sometimes where there's literally nothing out there to go on, right? Which you could make the case, well, you've got the only one, so you can set the price, but you can also make the case, well, it's not worth anything because there's no market for it. So I'm gonna stop the screen share. So we come back to you guys. We decided to price them at $250 with the best offer. They were a designer brand. We knew they had sold for a lot. Probably not a lot of people bought them. But I was ready to move them at any reasonable price. These things were heavy. They weighed over 3 pounds. That's pretty heavy for a pair of jeans. They're pretty cool looking. You know, they had all this elaborate stitching and so on. So regardless of the price you accept for them, I always say when you have a one-off like that, price it high. The worst somebody can say is, you know, that's too high. All right, it is. All right, fair enough. You don't know the market. You don't know what the market is for them. So just take a shot, throw it out there. When the guy offered $100, he'd already offered like 80 or whatever it was, and it had been auto rejected because I could see the history of his best offers. I'm like, why not? Like, I'm giving this guy a, you know, theoretically a great deal. I'm not into him for a lot of money. He's actually, I think, in Canada or somewhere where he bought them, and you know, he was excited about them. He sent me a message. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you great feedback once I get them." And blah blah. We'll see, but I think you should always price high in those instances, guys, because you don't know what the market is. Could I've gotten more out of them? Sure. I mean, maybe, but it was literally the only message and the only offer I'd got on them, and they sold in, you know, just over 2 months. I was happy with that. You know, and I think the lesson there is that you can set the market price when there is no price. You set it. You come up with it and price it as high as you want. I knew they were unusual. I don't know what they're worth. They're obviously worth $100. The guy paid that for them, and they were in great shape. So I think that's, you know, just kind of the best way to go about that. And somebody said, well, he might resell them. Let him resell them. You know, I got a good profit on them. I'm happy with it. I was more than happy with it. And he got a cool pair of jeans, whether he sells them or wears them. So anyway, so that's how we came with the price for that. So I just want to share that. And what do you got? You got anything on that? You're very quiet all of a sudden. This is worrying me.
No, it's, well, you wanted to talk about the jeans. We told Yvonne we would, and you know, it was a man's pair of jeans. They were very paramilitary-esque with all that.
Yeah, they were different.
Yeah, so it was a very specific buyer will wear those pants.
Yeah, they were long too. I think they had a long inseam, 36 inseam. So they were really a big. They were not a wide waist, only 32, but the inseam was long. So so pretty cool. So hopefully he'll be happy with them. And if he sells them, more power to him. It's his item to sell. So I don't care about that. All right, Yvonne. Oh, Yvonne, you just missed it. We just talked about your question.
And we talked all about you too. No.
I know. No, we didn't talk about it.
No, we didn't. Only good things. But yeah, so we showed the listing and everything. So go back and look. And yes, we talked about them. And will we ever find them again? I think not.
Probably not.
Because from the research that we did initially on it, there are just not a lot of them out there.
Right. And, you know, that's the thing. Anytime you have something really new like that or unique, And Zerk just said, he's got a pair of cargo pants and hasn't heard anything on them. Man, it just takes that one buyer. It's just a weird thing. Like, and maybe I just got lucky, and that person came along. But I think that's always the way it is when you have a one-off. You're looking for one buyer, literally. And I don't know what this person's history is with this particular brand, and maybe he's had them before. It's like, man, I'd love to find those again, and couldn't because they weren't available. So he was willing to pay, and honestly, he got a good deal, because if those pants really were several $100s new, $100 is pretty dang reasonable for a used pair, and they were in good shape. They were really good shape. I
want to just say this out loud. Yes, Mommy, we offer GSP, and that's how we sent them.
Oh, Mommy Reporter.
I just wanted to say, yes, Mommy.
Yeah, they actually went in a medium flat rate box.
Because they were
heavy. Like there's no way they'd fit a padded flat rate. And as a package to ship them, they were over 3 pounds, so it would have been really expensive to ship them pretty much anywhere. So a flat rate box was like, it only ends up costing you like $12 or something like that. It's not a huge amount, and they were free shipping. So, and that was cool. But anyway, definitely, guys, when you get those one-offs, price them high. Test the market. You don't really know. And somebody can always give you an offer.
That's a great question. What if you find another one? Are you going to list it for $100 or more?
I'd probably list it the same amount, Robert Jackson, and just see what happens. The $250 best offer. I had no idea what the price should be of these. But when we saw that, we think they were in several $100s new. I'm like, these are in great shape, and they're very nichey, and it's going to be hard for anybody to find these. So why not? I'd asked some other people, some other denim resellers about these jeans. Nobody knew anything about them. Nobody.
Well, and we're having great luck with the make us an offer option.
Yep.
Because you can put parameters on it. You can auto accept and auto decline on a certain amount, and that's been grand for us.
Right.
And we're also having great luck with good customer service. You mentioned people that are looking for a specific brand or a specific size. We had somebody ask about a shirt we have, a Lucky brand shirt, because some people shop just for brand, and she wants to know if it's this long or that long, or do you think it'll fit me? And so we asked her,
sure,
how can we measure it?
What measurements do you need?
Do you need to help us help you make that decision? So,
all right, well, guys, listen. Before we get into the show topic, which is coming up, see how I did there?
Oh, I see what you did.
We have 112 people watching, so thank you for that. We really appreciate it. What do you think they should do, Karen, if they're liking the content?
I think they should smash the like button. All right, so it sucked. They can't all be home runs.
Yeah, we may have to retire that one before it even gets going. Anyway, all right, so easy. All right, so let's talk about.
You try to do a Cher impression, Mr. Smarty Pants.
I know my limitations. I wouldn't even try to do a Sunny imitation.
Oh,
Sonny
that would
Bono.
be funny, because all she did was put him down. He made fun of her big nose, and he tried to make himself bigger and taller than he actually was.
Oh, that's right, because she was like a foot taller than him, right?
Yeah.
All right, how do we get on? Let's get off of this topic. Anyway.
Serious.
Very serious now, show topic. We need like alarms or, a special graphic. All right, so let's talk about scheduling, guys. So Karen and I sat down today, and we realized that over the past 90 days, the first quarter, we could have done a better job with our prioritization and our organization of our business and getting things done and not getting other things done that didn't need to be done. So we thought it would be cool to talk about how to schedule your week for a reselling job. And we like the weekly format instead of the daily. And obviously you can break it out in the daily. Excuse me. But we came up with a few bullet points you guys might like, just to, help you guys figure out a schedule and so on.
Well, because we were making a list.
Yes. We
do have a once a week meeting. That was something that we found we had to do to sort of set the stage for the week to come, the month to come.
Right.
And that proved to be pretty helpful. However, making a list was not enough.
No.
And structure is important. I crave it. I need it. Oh, it's starting to pour down rain. And the list was not enough. And TBH, you wanted a more specific schedule. that had times, and I didn't. So we came up with the sort of...
We came to a compromise.
Compromise, yes. And so that my disclaimer, it's a good thing that we did this, because for us, and for a lot of you, whether you're doing this business part-time or full-time, you know, life happens. So you're having to juggle a regular full-time job,
right,
or a part-time job, or a spouse, or a significant other, or a social life, or a child, or you're going to school, or you're doing whatever. So we found that when we made a list that only had our reselling goals on it, other parts of our personal life were suffering, and vice versa. If we only focused on our schedule for, you know, getting Ben to practice or getting us to where we need to go, or my travel or whatever, that wasn't enough. So this is our idea of merging that and trying to be as effective as we can with our day. And the important part of that is an accountability factor too.
Yeah, and I would say too, guys, if you're really, really busy, maybe you have maybe you're working a full-time or part-time job as well as reselling. You've got a lot of family obligations. You might think, I don't have time for a schedule. That's exactly when you need a schedule, because you are going to forget things. You're going to leave things out. Things are going to slip through the cracks.
Squirrels.
It's so easy.
Squirrels.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's the first tip. You've got to decide you need a schedule, and hopefully what Karin was just talking about, you know, gave you the importance of doing that. Just being able to manage your time and your day. Also manage all your obligations, juggle all these things. We're all busy. We got people yakking us every second over social media and phones and everything else, as well as our families and relationships. And I mean, there's just a lot of things coming at us every single day. So being able to manage a business around that is it's challenging without some sort of scheduling. So you got to decide you need a schedule. So that's the first part. And because if you don't do that, you won't do these next few steps and it won't matter.
And then,
do you want to cover that one?
Yes, you need to write down all of your business needs, not wants. This is very important because, as we know, needs and wants are two different things. Yes? One you need, one you want. One you want, one you need.
Yeah, and the idea is there, guys, what are the needs of your business? There's a lot of wants. Like I have a lot of wants. Like I really want to do this, or I want to go do that. But they're not critically necessary, you know, and it's tough sometimes because Warren Buffett said, write down 25 goals you have for your business, or for, you know, whether it's investing, your business, whatever it is, then pick the top 5 and do nothing but those. Ignore the other 20. Never get to them. And what'll end up happening is you'll do one goal, you'll work on it, one objective, and then you'll just spend a little bit of time and energy on one over here and one over there, and you'll never really go after those. So take the ones that like are really important, your 5 business needs. Like I need to do these things on a regular basis. And you can argue about what those are. You can argue about them being sourcing or listing or photographs, whatever. You know, continuing to learn about your business, about reselling, exploring new platforms might be, you know, that might be part of it. Whatever you decide those 5 needs are, come up with those and just go after them. So that's kind of what we've been doing lately. And the wants are great, but you're not going to get to a lot of them. It's just the way it works. You know, you've only got so much capacity to do things. And so we're trying to really narrow down that focus. The third point is to consider your family obligations and schedule those as well. You can't forget about your family. You know, you can't forget about your son, or your daughter, or your husband, or your wife, or your parents, or your friends, or because they're important. And if you neglect them, that's going to cascade into your business anyway. Mm-hmm. You know, so you've got to have that time in there. I'm not saying you're going to say, all right, family, we're going to meet at 7:13 and at 7:26, we're going to break because I got to go do something. It doesn't have to be like that, but you have to say, and we'll show you guys our schedule here in just a moment. If we can get it to come up. Did we ever get it to come up?
I don't know. You were doing whatever.
Oh yeah, I did get it to come up.
But
okay.
even if you work together.
Yeah,
as
especially
we do,
if you work together, I think.
Well, because we're spending a lot of time together during the day, and it's work time. And we recognized early on that that was not enough, and that our own relationship was suffering because we were taking that time for granted. I mean, it's time, but it's not the right kind of time.
Yeah.
So we made this list. And in making this schedule, what's not a bullet point on here is once you're open to making the schedule, you have to be committed to give it a try. And that's kind of where we had to come to, because we've given a lot of lip service to making lists, setting a schedule, doing this. But we actually sat down at our meeting this morning and not only made our list for the month and all the goals and the numbers and all of that, but we made this schedule. And we had to consciously commit, like really out loud, make a commitment that, okay, we think this is going to work and we're going to give it a try.
Yep. Yep.
So
very, very important. So
you need the schedule. You're going to write down all your business needs and wants and consider your family obligations and needs in there as well. And then
the next part is to write out each day.
And then,
because it turns out a week has 7 days. And here's what ends up happening to a lot of us. I know this has happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to some of you guys. So you start out on Monday like gangbusters. And you're like, man, I'm just going to list all these. I'm going to list these 87 million items over here. And then I'm going to go buy 22 million over there. And then I'm going to pack and ship these 8 million over here and whatever. And then reality sinks in. Tuesday hits. And you didn't quite get done on Monday what you thought you were going to get done. And then Wednesday hits. And this comes up or that comes up. And all of a sudden, the plan that you set up for this week is in the rearview mirror. You have no idea where it went, and your week is all of a sudden you're just reacting to things. You have to kind of plan out each day and think about what am I going to do each day, and that goes back to the overall schedule. But it's like, all right, I know on Monday I'm going to do this and this and this. These are my part of my 5, and they're important and they're going to happen. And then my other objectives are going to be this and this. And that's what you do. And part of our issue always has been you can get sidetracked so easy on something else, but you got to think about like, all right, every week I'm going to accomplish these things. But if I don't set out some sort of schedule, all of a sudden you'll find yourself on Thursday and you're behind. And then it's kind of too late to catch up. And then you start feeling pressured, or you get down on yourself, or you get mad, or you argue with each other sometimes like, well, if we'd have done that or done this, like we ever argue.
No, we don't argue. I'm always right.
That's true.
But you almost have to plan. Like we've had to plan for contingencies. Like we've had a bit of a rough patch in some personal stuff with some family members and things like that.
Yeah,
and
not us, but just outside family.
No. And some of them have sort of, well, it would be an understatement to say derailed the daily, but they've sort of derailed the daily. So we're now sort of looking at it. There's a lot to that. I mean, one, we're not going to beat ourselves up over it because life happens, but we also have to be able to adapt and improvise quicker and better, and just sort of keep going forward, not backwards, and not let, especially if it's a personal challenge, get in the way of what we're trying to do here. So we've sort of built that into the schedule as well. Yep.
Yeah. And you know, guys, and I know people are saying how their struggles in the chat and so on. We all have them, and you all have your own set of personal circumstances, but it doesn't really matter what those circumstances are. You kind of know what's going to happen and occur week after week, day after day, week after week, and you can schedule those things. Now, the emergencies and so on, of course you can't schedule them because they're emergencies. I mean, that's the point. Like, they're going to happen, but the things that happen on a regular basis, you can plan around those if you take the time to sort of flesh it out. And because I'm telling you guys, if you put it on your brain, you're going to forget things. We're busy, it's crazy, things happen, and people usually want our attention right in the moment, and we start reacting to them, and then all of a sudden we realize we're not getting done what we wanted to get done that day because we're reacting to everybody else. And that can be a real problem. It could be your family, it could be your job, it could be your friends, relationships, anything. So you've got to be able to kind of schedule things out, at least on some level, and to be able to control for them.
Well, and let me do a bit of a confession here. We had a conversation last week.
YouTube confessions.
YouTube reseller confessions. But you said something last week that we had to sort of own up to. And that is, and this isn't a bad thing because we all do it because life, right? But you said, do you remember saying to me, I think that we're allowing some of these distractions, and some of them were legitimate distractions. You said, I think we're allowing some of these distractions to take priority over other things that we had already planned, that were already in the works. So, you know, if, and this will be a bad example, but, you know, Ben has to go to practice or Ben has to do something.
Right.
And we're in the middle of something. That's not a good example. But anyway, that's what it was. Like we were allowing these other important things, yeah, but it was becoming really easy to sort of give in to some of these important things, and they were taking the place.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, when we have this goal to list, you know, 20 pair of jeans or whatever this afternoon, well, we're just going to go, oh, I got to go source a couple of shoes.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that because it's more fun.
It's dumb.
Or I got to pay bills. I got to, you know, and the bills aren't due for 2 more. I mean, and, you know, Kelly talked about not reaching her goal this month. One of the things that we do is we have we plan it out. We, what's it called? We project.
Yeah. Yeah. We project what we need to, how much we need to source, how much we need to list. And the last 2 months, in all honesty, we have not hit our listing goals. And the biggest reason, we've hit our sourcing goal, which is, that's a takeaway in and of itself. Like, all right, we've got the sourcing piece down to the numbers we need right now, but we haven't hit the listing goal. And the biggest takeaway from that is that we didn't have a schedule around it. It was happenstance. It's like, oh, I'm going to do some now, but maybe I'll do some tomorrow. And that does not work. It does not work for us. So, all right. So the last part of this, before we're going to show you our sample schedule, guys, here in just a moment. The last thing is to find time for other objectives.
Like, you know, encouragement, motivation, maybe exercise is high on your list, education, your own relationships, whether it's us or as a family or with your child or whatever. There's other things. We have other goals in life. So find time for those as well and work them into the daily. And we wrote it out. We put it in the form of a spreadsheet. And it actually doesn't have
it. She did this one.
I did this one, but it has no math. So
there's no math in it.
The spreadsheet
there's no prof
without
math.
prof math, right? But we'd like to show it to you and explain to you what a couple of the things mean.
All right, so we're going to show you guys what the this little weekly schedule is like. Let me see if I can get that to work here.
Phenomena. Da, 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 da.
What are you doing?
I got you, babe. Ba, 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 ba. I got you, babe. Okay, so can they see it?
They will be able to in just a second. Oh, man, I swear this thing is so dumb sometimes. And it is here. All right, so here is our schedule, guys.
Okay. So, one of the things that we're doing differently is when we go to the post office Monday through Friday, we're kind of swinging by to source. So we're trying to make the most of our day when we're out in the car anyway. So we've got some stops that we do, and that's just sort of a personal note up at the top. But we blocked our days Monday through Sunday into three parts: morning, afternoon, and evening. And the 0700, of course, that's a time by 24-hour clock. So the first 5 hours, then followed by the next 7, followed by the final whatever. So inspiration can mean different things to different people. You know, I wanted to start to say this about inspiration. So when you wake up in the morning and you're getting ready for your day, you should set your mind, find your happy place. Let this part of your day be what sets the pace for the rest of your day.
Right. This
is where you're going to find your center, your focus, your mindset. And I would challenge all of you, don't let someone else set your mindset. Like for me, I purposely don't read, and Krillin will say something positive about this, I know, but we don't watch the news or listen or read the headlines and first thing in the morning. We're not reading emails or text messages first thing in the morning. Because think about it, when you do stuff like that, you're letting someone else decide how you're going to start the day.
Right.
And when we recognize that, that sort of set the tone for us And we've been sort of living that anyway, but that's so important. Don't let someone else decide how your day starts. And for us, you know, we used to walk all the time, and we've kind of let that fall by the wayside. So we're starting with, you know, stretching and yoga, and munch just means breakfast. It's a certain kind of thing that we do for healthy food in the morning. And then on Mondays, we have a meeting. And that's our Monday morning meeting right there. Ben, you can't see, but he just got home. People were asking about you, my dear. So you can come say hi later. So after we have our meeting, then we go to it. And we decided that our mornings would be the minutia part of the day. And what that means is there's certain things we have to do every day. And that's pack, ship, and whatever, you know, order of the day is in store for us. But we're going to spend the morning pulling our inventory, packing it, getting it ready. And then we're going to go to mail it and source it.
Right. And after that, we also have a lunch hour and exercise time in there. So lunch is usually about 30 minutes for us and exercise for 30. So whatever that looks like, that could be walking, it could be weights, it could be aerobics, it could be yoga, whatever works for you, just something to get the blood pumping, keep your mind focused. You know, it de-stresses you. We know all these things. The back part of the day from 12 to 5 is photo and listing. So we have about 3 hours for that, and then 1 hour for the show on certain days, and we'll be doing some videos other days. And then the evening is just our dinner time. Obviously, this is from 5 to 10. I have a mastermind call at 8 o'clock on Mondays. There's family time in here. There's time for anything going on also with Ben. And then, you know, other income opportunities that we're working towards. Things that we want to, this is a time to take maybe 30 minutes, take 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and work on those, whether it's research, whether it's executing something. But it's not like an all-night thing. Just, you know, if you do that each night and you break it up, it's not that huge of a task. And then some time to sort of decompress, and then trying to hit sleep by 10 o'clock. So that way we know we'll get enough sleep. Getting enough sleep is critical to having the energy to do all this.
And the reason, and I know that I haven't looked back at the chat to see some of the comments, but before anybody says that's just the silliest thing I've ever seen, we wrote it down because we find it necessary, a need to write it down. Like the part about exercise or lunch, right? Of course we're going to eat lunch, but exercise in particular, that's a good example.
Right.
We used to walk all the time, and we're not doing it anymore. So in writing it down, that's the first step to holding yourself accountable to something. We made a commitment to do this every day, so we're going to do it. Will there be some days where maybe we don't? Hopefully not, but you know, something might happen.
Right.
For us, this is the first step to making sure that we're completing our doing stuff for our whole person there, and that's important to us.
And some people are saying about, you know, their timing and all this. You know what? It doesn't have to be this order, guys. You know, there's no magic order. This just is what works for us and how like our brains work, how our energy levels are. Like, I don't want to start off the morning photoing and listing, I've realized, because I'm kind of in a different place in the morning. I do better with it in the afternoon, oddly enough. And, you know, that's just realizing your limitations, or not even your limitations, realizing what your strengths are and maximizing those and trying to minimize your weaknesses.
Well, and putting it on paper, I mean, it's not just you, it's not just us. It's
right.
We have a household to run and manage here.
Right.
So in making a list like this, it sort of gives everybody a heads up what's going on and what's happening with the schedule. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, we're juggling not only our own individual schedules, our, you know, business schedule, our couple schedule, but we have Ben, and Ben has a schedule, and he has a calendar. And there was a time when we were all kind of going at it singularly, and were we getting much done then? No.
Nope.
Like 5 minutes before Ben needed to be somewhere, Ben would say, I need to be somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's not effective. If you've already planned to do X and I'm already doing Y, then we're kind of at an impasse. Yeah. And
the one thing we put on there too, guys, you may have noticed, we did not put a specific time frame for a lot of those things, because I wanted to do that at first, and Karen's like, no, I cannot commit to from this hour we'll do this and this. So instead we took it in blocks. We said, all right, the morning, which is this span of hours, we will do these things. The afternoon, this span of hours, we'll do these things. And the evening, this span of hours, we'll do these things.
And Rob's so funny. He said no date night. Date night time is Friday or Saturday, right?
Right. And then Sunday we're off.
Yeah.
So, that's a day we take off. And like, we've really enjoyed, I think we've really had a lot of good connection on Sunday.
Yeah,
I think without having business being, that kind of re-energized you, ready for Monday. Like she was ready today to go through like defects and all this stuff this morning, and it's just that ability to be able to take a day and just
not even
turn off business.
And I think I gave you big compliments for that, because for you, that started a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I noticed right away, and I actually said something to you. I was kind of suspicious. I was like, did you by any chance do that on purpose? And Jason was like, yes, I did do it on purpose.
Did I say it that way?
Yeah, pretty much. But it really was. It was business. It was PROF sales 24/7 just about. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like when an idea comes up, whatever. But our Sundays for the last 3, because I think I was out of town the 4th, but they've just been about Sunday, and it's been awesome. And you're right. I think it does make a huge difference on Monday morning. So
leave us your questions, guys, too, and you can type the word question or question marks in the field, and we'll answer some of those. I think we've got maybe one more little small topic to talk about here. Mm-hmm. But someone said, my struggle is finding time for the household task, laundry and cleaning. Okay, well, here's the funny thing, and I say this to Ben quite often. Like laundry, for instance, you can put laundry in and then go do something for 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. Really, what else do you have there when you start that first load? And you can break it into chunks. It doesn't all have to be done the same day necessarily. You could say, all right, this time frame, I'm going to throw in a load of laundry, and then I'm going to work on whatever, or I'm going to relax and do this, or I'm going to spend time with this person during that time, whatever it is. So it doesn't have to be that you have to just be go every second. That's not really how most of us are wired.
Well, and we purposefully, somebody asked about, date nights and what about time with friends and cleaning and that kind of stuff. We didn't put everything into the schedule. I think I put groceries on Sunday because you're volunteering and I'm home for a block of time. So it just makes sense. I like to grocery shop by myself. It's just what I do.
Yeah.
It's my therapy.
She does.
But
she doesn't like it when I go, because I'm like, I want to just go get the stuff and get out. I'm like, let's get this.
The most unfun.
She likes to peruse. And,
it's like therapy for me.
Yeah.
But so we have, that stuff is built in, but I didn't want this, write down everything, schedule everything, give a time, give a list, give an everything. I needed some wiggle room. And, it may be that there are some things that we left out that we probably should have included, and we'll get there and we'll tweak it. No big deal. But we purposely didn't break it down like minutia. I'm not good with that.
Right.
And to me, this is quite a schedule as it is. So we can check things off and go from there, and I'll be good with that.
All right. So are we ready for our last minor topic here, or do you want to talk about that?
Well, yeah. Did we talk about all that other stuff?
I think we did.
Oh, all right. So if you like what you see, you should. I can't do it. Just smash the like button, please, and we'll pretend that I did this awesome.
She's going to work on her Cher impression. Or Stevie Nicks, or
you keep saying Stevie Nicks. You kind
Barbara
of like
Streisand, or Pat Benatar. I don't know who you going for. I don't know who you're going for. Celine Dion.
I could sing us into just about anything. I can. But anyway, if you like it, smash it. Just smash it.
Smash it.
So we are coming back. So we have taken a little time to get to. A while back we talked about you reaching the 5,000. Subscribers on the YouTube. Yep. And how cool that was, and how grateful we were for all the contributions of the community. And we said there'd be a prize, and there were some parameters around that prize, and we're wearing the prize. It's me. No. So we got shirt. These are our first round of merch by Amazon shirts. And it says Prof Math.
Yep. And our cool little logo.
Yes.
Cool font, not logo, font.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's almost Tron-esque. Did you say fonting?
Yes, it's Tron-esque. I like that. Tron-esque. It is kind of Tron-esque.
Isn't it just?
For those of you who know Tron, some of you know.
I think that most of our people do. Oh, the Terminator. I could do the Terminator. Smash the like button. That's more Arnie than it is. Anyway, so we did pick a winner, and it's so funny. Henry, are you still in the chat by any chance? If you say yes and can prove that you're here, we have a surprise for you. So just about everybody in our group knows Henry. And at some point we will have Henry on the show, but there's a condition because Henry was our winner. He was the first. Yes. So Henry, we want to send you a shirt. So you won.
Send me a message on Facebook.
Yeah. Send us a Facebook message. We are so happy that it was Henry. That was the first email that we got because we absolutely adore Henry. And if you don't know Henry, he's always first in the chat room.
Yes.
He's always got a good word of support for everyone. And so when Jason told me that it was Henry, I was like, oh my God, we got to get him, not just one shirt, send him something cool or, like more stuff. But so Henry was our first person. Yes, if you want to buy the shirts, we'll
put the link in the description.
We will put the link, and at some point we're going to talk about our merch by Amazon, our personal journey. But for these shirts, yes, we most definitely put a link in the about section of the video. But congrats, Henry. Thank you for always being here. And
Henry's the best.
It will be our pleasure to send you a shirt. And you've got some choices, and we'll talk about that offline. They come in 2 ink colors and
Right, white and blue.
Yeah, but then the shirts come in different colors.
Yes, they do. They do.
Yeah.
Somebody had asked too about, I think it was Susanna asked about fake big stars.
Is there such a thing?
Is there such a thing?
Who would do such a terrible thing?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they were fake, Susanna. I mean, of course it's possible. But I would definitely check authenticforum.com.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of really good experts there. They're just experts because they've just been doing it a long time. Because what happens with jeans, just like anything else, is a jean company will make a whole line, different fits and so on, and then they'll change a bunch of stuff. They'll start changing their tag and changing their label and changing the stitching, and they'll just change things. So then you're left thinking, well, I've got this pair that's from 12 years ago, but they don't look like anything today. So are they real or not?
Yeah.
And you start thinking, well, maybe they're fake, and they could be fake. But a lot of times it's just that they're no longer making them just like that, or they've just tweaked it just enough that it gets a little tricky. Or it could even be that they ran off a line that just wasn't widely distributed, or they just didn't do a lot of them because they didn't sell well, or they just didn't want to do a lot of them, all kinds of reasons. But I operate under the assumption that unless it's Diesel or True Religion, it's probably legit.
Or Robbins.
Or Robbins, yeah, Robbins seem to get faked. And you're probably fine with them. But authenticforum.com, great website for checking that out. Mm-hmm. And I do use it on occasion myself.
And we've seen fake Levi's of all things, but they don't say Levi's. They have a sort of plastic tag, like plastic leather tag that looks red and orange, and then it says something really weird, really weird and bizarro.
There's all kinds of nonsense out there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you've just got to, as Krillin said too, designers change. Yeah, I mean, all kinds of things change, and that changes with other clothing too. But there's certain things that, in worst case, guys, if you've got a store, if you've got a brand, and you've got a store of that brand locally, take them in. They're usually happy to authenticate them for you. Mm-hmm. Like we have a Levi outlet right down the road. So any Levi we have, we could always go in there and authenticate it. And plus, they can just tell you what it is. Maybe it's not an authentication question. You say, hey, I picked up this pair of jeans. I'm just curious what they are. Like I can't find anything on them, whatever.
Hey, Trish, if you send us a picture, we can help you with those TRs on how to authenticate them. There's some specific things with the tag and the stitching that we could probably help you get there really quick.
TRs do get faked. There was a period where TRs were faked a lot. True Religions, for those of you who don't know what TR means, but. And
the little Buddha is like, the thumb is supposed to be a certain way, and it's supposed to be a certain look.
Yeah, and the J in the jeans and the tag is different. Yeah, I mean, there's things, but again, you can also sometimes find a True Religion outlet if you have one near you, and they can probably help you as well. So there are other resources. Measurements on the T-shirt listings. Krillin, I guess you're asking about these T-shirts.
Yeah, so the way Merch by Amazon works is, one, you could probably, honestly, you could search Prof Math on Amazon right now and find the shirts. I mean, without a link, you could do that.
Yeah, they are there.
But they're, it's specific shirts, and then there's like a guide that flips up with it that shows if your measurement is this, then you should order this size. My shirt's a medium, and yours
Mine's
is a
large, and I'm like 5'11". 170. So if you're around that kind of gives you some ideas.
And I'm 5'5", and that's all I'm going to tell you. But medium seems to do the trick, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if you can find it on Prof Sales or not.
No, Prof Math.
Oh, you search Prof Math. Oh, duh.
Yeah.
Hello. If you search Prof Math, does this shirt come up? Let me see.
Yeah, it does.
Do I have to put all as one word, you think?
You can try it, but I don't think so. I think Prof, no, 2 words, and then shirt. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's in there.
Funny math t-shirts.
No, it's in there. It's in there somewhere.
All right. We'll have to keep looking. Amazon, we're still learning how to keyword these items on Amazon for, I might have to put t-shirt, Prof Math t-shirt. Anyway, I don't even know how we got all distracted on this. Squirrel?
I don't know.
Right?
Squirrel. Yeah. It's not on the list. This is not on the list.
I know we got distracted. Well, somebody was kind of asking about it. All right. So what other questions were there? Prof, are you moving to Alabama?
No. I'm sure there's a punchline in there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. I have a customer asking for a hip measurement. How do I do that? What you can do, Thomas, is you can lay the jean out flat so that, the front of the jean is facing up towards you, and find like the bottom of the zipper, like at the bottom of the zipper on the jeans, and pull the tape measure across that. So it would be like, here's the zipper. So your tape measure go across perpendicular, and that's going to be your hip measurement.
Well, and
I always put this is measured at the bottom of the zipper. That way they know exactly where you measured, because some people think about it a little differently. So I'm sorry.
Well, and it's probably a woman that's asking. So depending upon if it's a high rise or a low rise, that might make a difference. So take a picture and just send a picture. I always do that. It drives you crazy. But I would measure it a little like up. It's like just above on the pair of pants that I have right now. It would be just above the bottom of the zipper because you're coming across to the hip point. So just tell them, be specific on where you're measuring it from. And it is a good couple inches down from the actual waist.
Yeah, there it is. Oh,
yeah.
Somebody Googled Prof Math Amazon and it came up. Oh, there you go. So we didn't even know that. Biggest size you have is 2X, but I need a 3X. I don't know what to do about that.
Well, is that right?
No, they have a male 3X large. Look again. I see a male. Well, I think they do. Yeah, it comes in a 3X.
Yeah, it won't have a woman's one. And honestly, the woman's one, the text is smaller.
Yeah, make sure you pick the man's. That's a good. Oh, I had the wrong one. All right, so let's try men's. Men's goes up to 3X. Yeah, it says male 3X large.
Yeah, pick the man size. The woman's shirts are coming out with the text a little bit smaller, and I'm not sure if I like that or not. So look on that conversion chart and just make it make sense to you. In fact, I would probably like yours better, honestly. And if I got his, I would get his in probably a medium or a small.
What colors do you get in women's? Does it say?
Yeah, it's right there. Well, no, it's going to go like white ink. So click on that one.
Well, somebody was asking if we had pink.
No, they don't offer a pink, but they have a red.
They don't offer it.
And so in the blue one, there's like blue, navy, black, gray, white with the blue letters. And then with the white one, there's something else. It's different.
All right, so let's move on. Hank says when customers ask for additional measurements, send them a pic of the tape measure.
Yeah,
explain it. Yep.
And you know what's cool about that too, Trish, is that, and what we do, and we've talked about this before, is whenever you answer a question like that, especially if you're providing photographic evidence to your answer, you're able to put that right on, like answer the question and put it onto the listing.
Yeah.
So bonus, if anyone else were to ask that question in the future, you've got the answer documented right there. So I love that. I do the same thing.
Yep.
I always like to take pictures and post them. I think that's awesome.
And it's the the actual option there is add reply to listing. So you'll see it, and you may have to toggle it, but I believe you can toggle it even on the mobile app if you're answering the question on that. So if you're answering on your phone or something, you can still toggle that on, say add reply to listing. That way, as Karin said, everybody will see the answer you gave. So hopefully you don't have to answer that one again.
Yeah. Speaking of answers, no, the shirts do not have a rear graphic of an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
As great an idea as that would be. And the shirts would cost more.
It makes them more expensive.
Yeah. The more you...
We're trying to keep it cheap, and it's like, you know, I mean, you're paying somebody to make a shirt for you, so it's only going to be so cheap. But, you know, we'll see how it goes with them. We're pretty happy with them. I like the way they came out.
We need to get better at keywords and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we are not even merch noobs. I don't even think I'd call us a noob. We're not even to that level yet. It's like
we've sold two shirts, and it's because I bought
and we're wearing them.
And you know, it's like with the shoes, we've sold 2 pair of shoes. So, you know, it's our magic number this week, I guess. But we're getting there. It's all a work in progress, right?
Yeah. So April is upon us, guys. What are you going to do different? What are you going to keep doing? What are you going to stop doing that, you know, will help your business this month? Are you going to be able, do you guys have an effective way to schedule your day, schedule your week? If you don't, consider making one. It doesn't have to be the example we gave you, but you can at least go in and start thinking about, all right, I've got these things I'm doing every week for my business. I need to plan some time and energy around those so that I know that they happen, because I know that doing those things, those 5 things will be instrumental in my success. Keep it down. I would keep it down to 5 things, whatever those 5 things are for you. And they're going to be different for every single one of us, but I would keep it at 5 things or less. You can even argue it can only be 3 things. And then you make time to do those, whether it's every day or every week, whatever the time frame is, guys, because that's what's going to get you where you want to go. This is not a complicated business, but man, we all can make it overcomplicated. I'm guilty of that on many occasions, but you really don't have to. But you have to have a way to schedule your workflow. I mean, really, that's what you're doing. You're scheduling your workflow. And if you don't, it will schedule you.
It'll school you pretty much.
Yeah, you'll get to like the middle of the month and go, I don't have anything left to list. There's a nice problem, right? But wouldn't it be great if before you got to that point, you realized that and took a day to go source whatever that looks like for you, or took the time to go source, because now you got to go spend that whole day doing it. And maybe you're not going to get anything listed that day, and that's not your goal. Maybe you want to list Monday through Friday, and now you get to Wednesday of a week and you realized you just listed your last 10 items the day before, and now you have 0. So now you got to go get something and then try to list that same day. And that's pressure. That's, that's stressful. It's like you can plan for that and figure that out in advance and not go through that sort of stressor. That should be a word.
Pressure.
It's pressure and stress together. I'm struggling.
So we can all do better. I think we would all agree. We can all do better. And I challenge everybody to hold yourself accountable. I mean, quit flying by the seat of your pants. You either want to get better or you don't. You either want to make money, make more money, or you don't. And This is one way to do it. And we're holding ourselves accountable, and it's about darn time.
Yeah.
Can you schedule time to fish more? Of course you can, Joe. And that's all part of this. We're purposefully scheduling time to do fun stuff, non-work stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Tim Ferriss in his book, The 4-Hour Work Week, he figured out a way to delegate out and consolidate out everything he was doing, because he was working 70, 80 hours a week and he was making great money, but he had no time and energy for anything but work. So he figured out ways to delegate all that out and still provide himself a great living and be able to do some of the things he wants to do. Ostensibly, the reason you went into business in the first place was that so you could provide for yourself or other people in your life a better life. But if you have no time or energy to do that because the business is taking so much of that, what are you really gaining? Time's the only really true valuable commodity. So there are absolutely ways to do that. But you got to start thinking about it and planning it. So we did not give up on estate sales, Krillin. Last weekend, we did not have any we felt like were right in our wheelhouse to go to.
Well, and it's not
that were near us.
And we're not only doing them on weekends. We've signed up. We're getting the emails. We're checking them out beforehand.
We're researching them. Yep.
Yep. We're doing our due diligence. But last week, the 2 that we wanted to go to were all furniture. And we're not going to start flipping furniture. I know we're guinea pigs for y'all for a lot of things, but we're just not. The 2 that we looked at, one was really newbie-ish. Like, remember the one that was just like the couple that was moving out of the country and had to sell everything? Like, yeah, we weren't going to buy their.
Yeah, it was all furniture
and stuff from the kitchen. We don't.
Yeah, here's our.
I'm sure there's money in it, but there's certain things that we're wanting to focus off when we go to the focus on. So we didn't go to those 2.
Yeah.
But yes, they're coming. Yes, we will tell you all about it. And there you go.
We'll take another question or 2 here. KMB asks, when you schedule time to have fun, is it really fun? Yeah. Like, if you want to go to the Grand Canyon for a week, you're going to schedule that, and that will be fun. So yeah, it absolutely is still fun. Fun is fun, whether it's scheduled, unscheduled. I think that they mean, do we have fun? Like, are you any fun? I think they meant just in general.
No, I think, are you fun?
No, I don't think that's what they meant at all. I think they meant, like, theoretically. I'm going to go with that until they say differently.
Yeah, but yeah, we have lots of fun. In fact, one of the things that we're going to do is Charlotte got one of those new escape places, where you go and you get locked in a room and you have to figure out how to get out of it.
It's like a puzzle thing.
Yeah, so we're going to do that with them.
We got a couple friends we're going to do that with. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. But I mean, yeah, you can schedule. Of course, you can schedule things to schedule time for anything. I mean, I think not everything in life can be spontaneous. Not everything can be scheduled. But ultimately, when you're talking about your business, you're going to have to come up with some sort of scheduling around it, or you're going to find yourself always flying by the seat of your pants, and you're probably not going to get the results you could get if you put a little bit of time and structure into, planning your business out a little bit more. So
give it a try. It's not going to take you much effort. Hold yourself accountable, set some goals, and see where it takes you. I mean, I think that it's worth a try for everybody.
Yep.
And you will probably be pleasantly surprised with what I think we underestimate ourselves a lot. And I think that you will be pleasantly surprised with yourselves and your results, and you'll see that you really were capable of more than you thought you were.
All right, guys. Well, look, I think that's going to do it for today.
I think so. It's 3:03.
3:03. So thank you guys for coming out today. Leave me a comment or question down below if you're watching this video later, and consider subscribing here.
And if we missed any of the questions, you can always send us an email or a Facebook message. We'd be happy to respond that way. And as always, this is Karin
and Prof Sales saying
good sales to you.